And then I hocked the biggest loogie I could fucking conjure up. And just spit on that boy, guy. On this fucking greased up hair. Alright, so I had to take a little break after the last video for hopefully obvious reasons. But boom, boom. Recouped a little. And here I am, baby. In spades. Anyway, let's continue this little trek, guy. Whoa, moth. Man, I hate when moths get in here, man. Because all I can think of is they're going to ruin my fucking shirts. What is that, guy? Come on, baby. Come over here. There's 2 of them. If you're a guy, you know what I'm going to talk about. This is the year women, or girls, I guess in this case, became important for me. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, man. It came as a 2-tier thing. You know, there was this girl that I had actually noticed in 5th grade. And she was in the class that the rival teacher to my teacher was leading. You know, the one that stole all the kids' money. And back then, there was no, you know, obviously like sexual nature to the, I guess, attraction, for lack of better words. I mean, is it even attraction of it? I don't know. But allure, let's say that, right? You know, there was something ethereal about her, you know. She had this pale skin, you know, with freckles and kind of like a strawberry blondish hair. So in a highly Latino community, she stood out in that respect. But that's not what drew me to her. It was just like, I don't know, man. The best way I could explain it is if you're watching like Lord of the Rings, right? There are some hotties running around, whatever. Some definite fucking trolls, literally and figuratively. But then you see a fucking elven chick and you're like, well, hold on now. That's like another level of hotness right there, guy. What is that? That's otherworldly hotness, right? Imagine that, only without, I guess, the hotness thing. It was just kind of like a thing, you know? But in 7th grade, it became like about the hotness. Man, she was a flirtatious girl, you know? She knew that people thought she was pretty, and she used that to her advantage. But she was also whip smart, you know? Or I guess still is. I mean, she's still around, but she was super whip smart, and she wasn't cruel either. You know, some pretty girls that know they got power, they're just mean. Especially if you're an ugly mofo like me. And she was really cool. We got along famously. And oh my God, she was just such a flirt. You know, and it just drives a guy insane, guy. You know. And I would have a crush on this chick throughout. From this point forward, she was like the one for me, right? And there was always like a back and forth element to this. And I mean, I'll touch on that later, but suffice it to say that it wasn't always just some guy pining for her, right? But there was always a you know, kind of like an asterisk on it. You know what I'm saying? But this was the first year that I was like, man, what is this thing I'm feeling? And why am I liking it? Then there was this other girl. She was of another ilk. She eventually would be a cheerleader. Which, you know, if you think in terms of cliques at school, you'd be like, oh, fucking the cheerleader or the fucking nerdy-ass dude. Well, let me just make this clear. Yeah, I was a nerdy-ass dude, but I was also hella weird, not in the off-putting way. And around this year, also, my confidence, like, started growing. Big time. So, while I may have been, yeah, that's one of the smart kids over there, you know, I was also not a pushover anymore. You know, I was very outspoken, and, you know, just my sheer size, you know, a tall, big kid. You'd think someone would have been like, I'm going to pick on him, but ain't having it, guy. I wasn't having it, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't bullied, nothing like that. So my confidence shot up even more and more. Well, this cheerleader chick, that confidence shit went out the window. Let's just say that, you know. She wasn't what people think when they think of the cheerleaders, you know. She was kind of a butterface. Let me just put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Chick looked whack as hell in the face. But, you know, again, as you know, this kid with raging hormones, all of a sudden, I was like, damn, though, that bod, though, yo. You know what I'm saying? The thing is that I knew nothing about her, you know? So my confidence meant nothing to me. Discovered that real quick. Had no way to breach any subjects with her. I had her for one class. I would see her and I'd be like, damn, though. I'm assuming girls go through some form of this too, but if you're a guy, you know what I'm talking about, man. All of a sudden, all you're thinking about is the chicks and how can I get with a chick and this and the boo, you know, and that was me during 7th grade. All of a sudden, I was like, I gotta get with one of these chicks, guy. Yeah, 7th grade, with the year the hormones came in and then, you know, the chickadees were suddenly a factor. Now, there were many a chick. I'm going to cover some area here. There were many other chick that I grew interested in. And again, I have to give it to the confidence. Because, I mean, I'm not a horrible looking guy, you know, I don't think. Maybe now more than ever, but I'm not a horrible looking guy, but I was a big dude, you know. I still am, I guess, but again, I can't be anything but the confidence, man, because I was not wanting for female attention. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Lothario, you know, a Don Juan or whatever like that. I'm not claiming that. I'm just saying there was never a lack of that throughout school, especially, you know. So there were all other chicks that I would get involved with to some length or another. But like I said, the first chick, I got to give her a pseudonym for this. Let's call her January, okay? January, the first chick here, just became this obsession guy, you know? And, I mean, thankfully never in a creepy way. She was always very receptive. And again, the flirtatiousness was just off the wall. So you're getting all these mixed signals sometimes and all that jazz. But this other chick, the cheerleader chick, she would also be kind of like this thing that I would always be like, damn, no. But again, nothing there, guy. But these two remained constants in the hormonal mind of a young Ahab, you know. There was this one moment in high school later on where this chick that I got, and oh my God, I got along with her so fucking well. And she was kind of like this little Mexican chick, you know, as in like she was more prone to lean on her Mexican side rather than the American side, right? Of the culture, as it were. But we got along famously. And I met her in a science class, and Monk was there. He was in a little science group, and it was evident to everyone, including myself, that this chick fancied me, man. And she projected it in such a way that it was fucking dead obvious. How obvious, you might ask? Well, one day, me probably not taking any fucking hints and acting on them, she just straight up came up to me. You know, it was one of those dead moments in class. She came up to me, sat in the desk next to me, and she's like, so when are you taking me out? And I said never, guy. That was what I said. I said never. Never. That's what I said. Months and months of me and this chick just vibing, dude. We were vibing. Beautiful girl, by the way. You know, I don't know how she turned out. Not that that matters, but you know what I'm saying? When you're a young hormonal kid, you're like, oh, wow, man, she's gorgeous. Gorgeous girl, you know. Yeah, man. Some fucking reason I said never. And I know that part of that reason is because I was like, yeah, but January is still a thing, guy. And that has to do with the whole yo-yoing, kind of this, there, and not there kind of thing that she and I had. I know that was part of the reason, but, you know, like 97% of the reason is lost to me as to why I said never. You know, I like to think that maybe it's because I didn't have a car, so where was I going to fucking take her? You know, but you figure that shit out when you get locked into something. And I fucking said never, dude. And it's just one of those things that, you know, in retrospect, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking, guy? But, yeah. Those two girls that I became, I guess, enamored with the idea of mostly, in 7th grade, those are the ones that I fucking decided, well, I'm going to ride this out the whole fucking way, guys. What the fuck? So, there you go, man. Fucking 7th grade, guy. The first thing that came to mind was that this was the first time I ever had a fight in school. You know, it was weird because it was somebody that I fucking didn't even know, guy. You know, usually when you fight, you at least kind of know the person to some degree. But this cat, who the fuck was this guy, you know? He was basically somebody that was a friend of a friend, which at the time was kind of like a potential friend. He would eventually become a friend, but, you know, so I had, oh man, there's even a third degree. It was a friend of a friend of a friend. Anyway, so I had a friend, we're going to call him Loglegs. And this is the guy, he was also kind of pretty important for me because this guy came from a rich family. And, you know, I was a poor asshole that was crawling in the sewage of a cult. And he just introduced me to comics, you know. And he had so many fucking comics. And, well, I knew comics because of the teacher that introduced me to tons of shit. But this guy, a fucking dog over there. But this guy, he was bleeding comics. He couldn't keep enough comics, you know what I'm saying? So, Loglegs there was a pretty good friend of mine at the time. And he had a friend that he's like, hey, you're probably going to dig this guy. Dig this guy? Dig this guy. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's meet him, right? So let's call this guy Jesse, right? So in comes Jesse, and Jesse's a cool guy, man. He was always a cool guy from this moment forward. Me and him always got along. We weren't like buddies, like we wouldn't hang out all the time. But he was just one of those dudes that got along with everybody in the school. Everybody liked him. You know, he was a little stoner guy, but not lost in the haze or anything like that. He was just a cool dude. You know, I loved that guy. And this is when I first met him. He's like, hey, check this guy out. And yeah, man, I dug the guy immediately. He was fucking cool, dude. And we're chumming. Oh, you like that? You like that? How about this? How about that? Well, it turns out that Jesse there had a friend. Let's call him Oscar the Grouch. Okay? And he was just kind of hovering around, but not in any way that I was like, is he with you or anything? It was that kind of hover. And so we're chumming out, guy. And all of a sudden, this Oscar guy, I won't say like violently, but he kind of grabs Jesse here by the shirt, right? And he brings him to him and he says something to him. And to me, having seen this guy just hovering, not knowing that they're together, I'm like, this dude just grabbed this dude. So immediately I interject. I'm like, hey, what the hell's the problem, man? And this dude, I guess he was just rearing to go. You know? He was jealous, I guess, for lack of better words. This dude immediately is like, boom, in my face, guy. Does a little shove. There's not even any fucking build up to it other than that. I do not take kindly to the shove. But then the adrenaline hits, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh shit, I'm in a situation now. And sure enough, before even I can register the fullness of that thought, this dude, whack, knocks my glasses straight up my fucking face. They're on the goddamn floor. And I don't know if this is my go-to. I haven't been in a lot of fights in my life. But the few that I've been in, the large majority of them have this element to them. I don't know if I'm copying this from this situation or it's just kind of my go-to. I don't fucking know. But I, boom, immediately go into calm mode. And I say, hit me again. And he does. And dude, again, gotta be the adrenaline because he hit me. He fucking hit me. Just didn't hurt. And I'm just taking them boys, guy. And, you know, he just wails on me. I just stand there taking them. It's not great, but I'm thinking I'm not gonna go down. Really, I got lucky he didn't knock me out or some shit. But anyway, a teacher eventually sticks his head out. Hey, what the fuck, you know? Jumps out the window and comes and the groups kind of separate us and shit. And you know, that was that kind of, right? So we get in trouble. We go to the office and shit. And this is where it kind of like, I guess, lose my composure. Because the idea of the principal, who, like the teachers, liked me, not approving of my behavior got to me. That's what got to me. And I cried. I was like, fuck. I can't take that, man. I can't take these educators and people that I admire and like not approving of me, And that's what got me, But then I was like, when I went home and all of a sudden, then I was like, man, this guy is probably going to tell everyone that I cried, The social stigma aspect, maybe I was like, I can't let that happen, right? That was a fucking impetus to make a stupid decision, shall we say. So the next day, I go up to Jesse and I say, hey, dude, I didn't know that dude was with you. I thought he was manhandling. He's like, hey, don't worry about it, man. He's like that, guy. Don't worry about it. It was cool. You're cool with me. I'll try to talk to him. The whole 9 yards, right? So he does talk to him, but he informs me that the dude has zero interest in any form of reconciliation or conciliation. Is that a fucking word? Because I hadn't even met the motherfucker before. But anyway, he's not interested. And I said, hey, well, I hope at least we can talk. And he's like, yeah, for sure, man. But it's bugging me, man. It's bugging me. So I don't know how many days passed, but a number of days, let's say. And classes let out. The final classes let out. I'm walking out the building, and I just so happened to pass by Oscar the Grouch guy, and he's at his fucking locker with Jesse, no less. I say hi to Jesse, and it was not even a second thought. There was no processing or nothing. I didn't think I'm going to do this. No. I said hi to Jesse, and then I hocked the biggest loogie I could fucking conjure up and just spit on that boy, guy, on this fucking greased up hair. And he gets up, livid, of course, understandably so, and he follows me out the door, and we start to fighting, man. And again, I go into that cool mode, guy. Like this isn't. I don't know, guy. Like I said, it happens almost every time I get in a fight. I just go like, okay, don't panic. Let me see the playing field here, right? And yeah. So I go into that. I see him. I get the opportunity. I get him in a headlock, and I just keep him there. He's trying to wail on me, and I just keep him there until an authority comes by. It was security guards, and they take us to the office. And again, man, I break when the disapproval from the principal and a teacher that followed us along the way comes in, and I'm like, that's not good. Anyway, I didn't do anything after that, but that guy never liked me. And then come to find out, he actually lived, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors away from me. I just didn't know, because again, growing up in a cult, you don't really socialize, not even in your hometown, And I live in a really small town that's adjacent to the town that I went to school in. So it's even smaller than a small town. It's fucking extra small. I didn't even know who he was, that he lived there. I would find out, I don't know, like a year or two later that he lived there. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? But yeah, first fight, 8th grade. Thoughts? Next video, we're gonna go to high school, guy. See what's up there.